Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. I have three great videos before we go into a whole lot of conversation that you guys are gonna love to see. Let's see. So far, Michael Rudnin, Bridge MCP, Paul Fleming, and Bruce Pollard. Hey, Michael says, until a criminal executive is in prison, they are not destroyed. They are just playing along with political theater. You know, sir, I'm going to tell you that you're right, but I'm going to take what I can get in the short term. It's about building. Bruce Pollard, hey now, Fox is starting to change a bit. They're reporting, it seems. I think you may be talking about what occurred today when on the lawns of the White House, that guy went ahead and really attacked the Twitterers or the tweeters that were harassing the reporter, the Fox reporter, who asked the president a probing question. Amazing! A Fox reporter attacked by the Fox militia. I thought it was kind of cute. I imagine that's what you're talking about, Bruce. But anyhow, what is our show about today? Title of the show. Let me go ahead y lo voy a poner en el para ver. Let's go ahead and put it here. Title of the show is, there we go. Trump losing his base. Congresswoman destroys pharma. Ex-Republican slams Lindsey Graham. Maria Cristina, welcome aboard. It is amazing what's going on, people. It is amazing what's going on. Let me tell you, there's the forces in Texas, the forces all over, they're attempting to suppress the vote. I mean, Texas is trying to sue so that we can have a one item vote, a straight line voting. I guess they got to stay on that. So now that is held up because it said, oh, there's not enough time to allow one line voting. So let's go ahead and allow people to stay in that place a longer time to give them a longer opportunity to get COVID. Don't worry, people. Put your mask on, have your sanitizer. It will be all okay. Start voting early. A lot of these places open early. Start going to vote early. As soon as the date starts to vote, go vote. Drive up there. If the lines look too long and you're still 7, 8, 9 days before, you have 9 more days, if you don't want to stand up in line, just wait. Go at a different time, Remember also in Harris County, Texas, you can vote anywhere that has polling machines. Wherever you are, close to work, close to home, wherever you can vote. I don't know how many other states have it that way. Maybe I should find out so we can inform our audience that, in your particular state, there's a lot of information out there now. What we need to do is go ahead and get you some links the next time. I should have had that ready for you today, but I don't. But all over the country, I think North Carolina is suing for, we want to make sure that you have to have witnesses for the signature on your vote, or I think it's North Carolina and I think the judge just went ahead and said, well, look, for people that are older, they don't have to go seek that other signature. But these guys are so scared of people voting. You can only be scared of people voting if you are losing. And unfortunately for them, they are losing. The bad guys this time around, people, are losing. And you know why they're losing? Because you're all smart. You know why they're losing? Because you're doing the right thing. Anyway, Trump is talking voter fraud because he is losing and it is infecting his base. Congresswoman destroys former executive, Lindsey Graham excoriated, and more. So these working class union workers prove Trump is losing the Obama voters he stole with lies. Lindsey Graham is not getting past, not even from conservatives he once voted for in the past. And the Congresswoman that our healthcare system says our healthcare system is a plutocratic cancer. We have a little bit more to talk about as well. But anyhow, let me go ahead and give you the first thing. I want you to see these union guys. It's a 2-to-1 thing here. Check it out, and then we'll take it on the other side. Folks, the tide is turning. We can say it has turned if we do our part and show up to vote. Again, we only get that landslide if we show up to vote. Because I tell you what, there are a whole lot of people right now that are so frustrated with their own votes of the past, their previous vote for Donald Trump, that what they're doing is they will be there voting. So the building blocks of the landslide is there, and it is up to you to make it, to bring it to fruition. Now, I want to say one thing before I get any further. Don't let this win be won on the backs of disgruntled Republicans, because the ones who would get service, the policies then will be written for the disgruntled Republican by a Democratic president. Let's make sure that all progressives go out there in rows and vote. Let this win be a progressive win with others assisting and coming on to a bandwagon where they know that policies would be out there that will include them as well. But I want you to see I recently showed you a few professionals who decided we just can't have Trump anymore. This is now some working class folks in Ohio. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
We wanted to talk to union workers because, as you know, entire books were written about the support for Donald Trump among non-college educated white men. So look what's happening in Lorain. This is the old B&O Railroad. It's been down for a long time, but the promise was this was going to be a commuter rail. Never happened. Just this May, the last 250 workers at the U.S. Steel plant here lost their jobs. And since 2016, the actual gap between what's happening with the deficit, it has grown, actually. So the question for me was, how are union workers now feeling? I sat down with two guys from the UAW, another former steel worker, and what they told me, well, they gave me an earful.
One of the reasons he appeals to me is because he thinks bigly. He gets moving in a big way to make big projects.
But the problem is, you're believing the lie of a liar. I have two friends of mine that said that they were sucked in by someone that they thought that was going to change the country, and they said he did. He made it worse, and they can't wait to get him out.
But I think down in the lower reaches, where the guys are doing the work, hitting the buttons, making the machines roll, those guys are solid Trump because he's tough. He's tough. He's strong for America, and he's making America great again.
I make probably someplace between 20 and 25 calls a day to retirees. And I'm going to tell you what, there's not a daggone one of them that like Donald Trump.
I think there's a lot of secret people just sitting back. They go to work, they take care of their kids, and they'll be showing up on the 3rd of November.
Actually, I think it's the opposite way. There's that silent majority that's going to vote for Joe Biden that's not going to vote for Donald Trump this time.
No, I don't think there's a secret Republican group out there for votes. I think Joe's going to win by a landslide, and that's what I think.
These guys are friends. Interesting kind of conversation. Trade deficit was the phrase I was looking for. Worse now in Ohio than it was back in 2016. Having said all that, one of the things you find out as you talk to voters here, Chuck, and in some of the other battleground states, is those folks who are firmly in Trump's corner are not going anywhere. None of the arguments that their other guys made to them changed John's opinion at all. So that's where we are. That's where we are. The gap closing, not closing all the way, and both sides questioning whether or not there are a lot more voters on their side than the polls actually show.
And folks, Ohio, that was in Ohio. Ohio, I think last RCP that I looked at is now Biden +5. So think about it. If Ohio goes, that means the entire Midwest goes because Ohio will go before many others actually take off. Let's remember that. So again, the landslide is on if progressives and Democrats go out there and vote. And what is very important is that you must vote in droves, because remember, there are a lot of Republicans who are not going to vote for Trump, and they've already tagged themselves to Biden. What do you think's gonna happen if it is the preponderance of the Republicans that gives Biden his win? Who is he going to be accountable to? Progressives, that is enough. That should give you enough impetus to go out there and vote in droves to make sure that your voices are heard. Okay. Now I see I have a few of my my good right-wing brothers and sisters in here that says, "Oh no, that's not true. We all believe in science here, and I know you guys do too." Okay, here are the numbers. By the way, this let me put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen. Here are the numbers. If we take a look at the national picture, we see that his lead is starting to what again? Increase. 45.9 for Trump, 54.1 for Biden. So the RCP or the combined of all these other polls now show us that where we expected, remember, we're getting close to the election. I'm coming with the Electoral College in a minute. We're getting close to the election. Normally by now, these polls are supposed to start tightening. In normal years, these polls would start to tighten. The opposite is actually occurring. They're starting to widen. As the election approaches, more people are saying, I gotta jump off of this Trump crazy train. I'm jumping off of this Trump crazy train. So a lot of people say, okay, but don't just look at the popular vote. Don't look at the national, which is what I'm showing you right here. Let me go down. Here are our battlegrounds. Look at what's happening. This is what has happened. Michigan, up 7.8, up +2, up 0.2. This is an increase since the last poll. Wisconsin, 7.6, it's on an upward motion. Nebraska, Biden, 6.5 on an upward bowl. Okay? Pennsylvania, 6.2, up +1. Florida, 2.8, up 0.4. Georgia, come on, people. Let me tell you, what we are looking at right now is the making of a landslide if we don't get complacent. And the reason I am telling our progressive brothers and sisters, you have to be a huge part of that landslide, because we are the ones who need then to go make policy. Remember that. There's a lot of Republicans coming on board this train. A lot. And when I tell you a lot, I mean even here in my crazy little red dot Kingwood, I have people through the grapevine saying, "Hey, Egberto, I'm voting for Biden this time." But don't think I'm a Republican. I mean, I'm a Democrat now. But we got to get off this crazy train. I have Republicans telling me that. Republicans that would never tell me that before. So take a look at these. These are the numbers. These are the polling numbers. If we go to RCP, Real Clear Politics, which is what a lot of people like to look at. I like to look at Real Clear Politics also because it's an aggregation of everything. This is what we're looking at, people. RCP has it 50.1 versus, and the battleground 48.6 to 45.1. Biden 3.5 in battleground. In RCP national 7.2. I am sorry, folk. Right now, Biden has quite a bit of momentum. And the thing about it that makes it stronger is that we're not we're not going on a trajectory that Hillary Clinton was on. During this period, Hillary Clinton was on the downward trajectory. That's what I was trying to explain to people, that the polls were correct in 2016. And then Steve Schmidt came about and said it as well. It was coming down as well. Man, I should be in bed right now. No sick. Oh my God. Michael, what's wrong with you, brother? Let me know. Okay. Kathy Pascal said, Trump said, I love the poorly educated. I have talked to so many who just repeat sound bites. My neighbor said he voted for Trump because he's a businessman, and that's what the country needs. I replied, do you know about his businesses? Uneducated people do not read. How do you get past that? Kathy from Oregon. Let me tell you how you get past that. You gain their respect because they won't read, but they'll listen to you. And if you shock them, let me be honest first. There are some that there's nothing you can say to get them off of Trump. There's about 30% of people who are 30% of the Trump support are the people that support Trump unabashedly. They won't change. They don't care. They're for Trump. There's something a little bit deeper than that. Trump gives. I noticed Trump said he liked the poor and the uneducated. What he really means by that is he likes people who believe they don't have anything going in their favor, so he can tell them, I have something for you, something special for you that those other people are trying to take away from you. Those black and brown people, those people are trying to take this from you. I have this for you. That's what he tells them. And they need to find a reason why they're doing so badly. And if it's not intrinsic to them, if it's also not, if they haven't yet bought that it is they're actually the victims of our economic system that depends on them being in the condition that they're in. If you're unable to sell them that, all they've got is Trump's word that says, hey, now I can make your life better. They are just looking out for them urban folk. What we have to do is get to them underneath that. We have to talk to them. And actually, that's what my book talk a lot about, because that is how, honestly, I've reached a whole lot of people, including a lot of folks that have been pretty darn racist. I've overcome their racism to actually get to them. So, I mean, it works when you give respect, but you have to have a thick skin as well. You have to be able, people have to be able to call you just about the worst possible words, and you take it and you listen. And then you come back and you just kind of wear them down with just the persistence that they see in you. That is what it's all about. That is what about. Anyhow, I have another video now to show you. That was about the union guys, right? Now, as you guys know, what's his name? Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is started. It's going even with Jamie Harrison in South Carolina. I want you to see how this former Republican talks about Lindsey Graham, because this is something that when you see it, you start to say, "Oh, okay." Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side. I could not have said it any better. You know, Lindsey Graham is in the fight of his life right now against Jamie Harrison. I want you to listen to what McMullen had to say about him, a former Republican. I think he's now an independent. He couldn't take the party anymore. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
You know, one of the things that's fascinating, Evan, to stay on South Carolina for a moment, while Lindsey Graham does seem to be in perhaps some trouble there, the president, not so much. I mean, most polls still have President Trump leading Joe Biden in South Carolina, although that latest Q poll shows it pretty tight. What does that tell you? How can voters be fed up with their Republican senator but still embrace the Republican president?
Well, the Quinnipiac poll does show a tighter race, so let's see where it goes from there. But even the other polls show a tighter race than you would normally see for the president. But to answer your question, Craig, about why there may be a disparity between Trump's better performance, possibly in South Carolina, and Lindsey Graham's performance, is that Lindsey Graham opposed Donald Trump. He was a never-Trumper. I don't know if he would describe himself that way, but he certainly opposed the president. He warned the American public in 2015 and 16 about the dangers posed by Donald Trump. And in fact, he voted for me in that election. And said so ahead of time that he was planning on doing that. After the election, look, I know that Lindsey Graham made a decision. He needed to decide whether he was going to get on board with Trump or continue to fight. And I know that he, after thinking that through, decided that he was going to get on the Trump train. And that's what he's done, and he said so explicitly. But the result of that is that he's not a big favorite among avid Trump supporters because they remember what he said about Trump to begin with, so they don't trust him. And of course, principled Republicans and conservatives don't trust him either. He simply has no core. Lindsey Graham has no core. He's abandoned the American people. He's abandoned the Constitution, and he in no way deserves to be reelected. He's a massive disappointment. I'm sorry to say. He's someone who I respected for years, but he has shown his true colors in the last 4 years, and he deserves to be beaten. And I think there should be a cross-partisan coalition in South Carolina formed by Democrats, independents, and principled conservatives and Republicans to unseat him.
Notice what he said. Principled conservatives and Republicans to unseat him. That is making it clear that he understands the Republican Party has become the Trump Party. And the Republicans that he's talking about are people like those who are with the Lincoln Projects or the Vote Trump Out Party and all these other guys that are working against the re-election of Donald Trump. I mean, for this guy to come out and speak against a former real stalwart, like Lindsey Graham, somebody who supported McCain, that says a lot. Jamie Harrison should be the next senator of South Carolina. And you know, guys, I just, while I was watching that, I said, wait a minute, I interviewed Jamie Harrison. So I jumped up, I just checked it out at the YouTube, and then I noticed Jamie Harrison is saying the same thing that he's been saying all year. I interviewed Jamie Harrison a few months ago, and I want to play that for you, and then we'll take it on the other side. Welcome to another edition of Politics Done Right. We are honored to be here with the one and only Jamie Harrison. Let me tell you something.
Thank you.
I've been following you for a long time now. I had hoped that you had run before. You didn't. But now, I tell you what is great is that, first of all, introduce yourself.
Yes, Jamie Harrison. I am running for U.S. Senate in South Carolina against Lindsey Graham. I am the Associate Chair of the Democratic National Committee, former Chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party.
And you turned around the South Carolina Democratic Party.
Well,
like I said, I'm sorry I have to say it, but first, the most important part that I think is important to tell is we brought youth into the. We brought
That's
youth
exactly right, and vitality back into the party infrastructure. Yes.
And we know what that does to a party.
That's exactly.
Well, you are currently running against Lindsey Graham,
yes.
And I'm telling you something. I cannot fathom why it is that Lindsey Graham has lasted that long in South Carolina.
Yeah, well, his days are numbered. We are pushing, and we're pushing hard, and we're building a campaign like we've never seen in South Carolina.
Right.
One that is grassroots oriented, grassroots based, and grassroots focused. It's focused on helping the people in the state, because that's the job of the U.S. Senator. When you put your hand on that Bible, you lift your hand up, and you take the oath of office, it is to protect and defend the Constitution and to protect and defend and fight for the people in your state. We have right now someone in Lindsey Graham who only cares about being relevant, getting reelected, and he believes the key to doing that is to do the bidding of Donald Trump.
Exactly. The thing about it is, in as much as we understand, everything that Lindsey Graham said about Donald Trump, he's diametrically opposed.
When you have the definition of flip-flop,
right.
You see Lindsey Graham's face right next to it.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Jamie, where I really want to hit. Yes, we don't like Donald Trump, and yes, Lindsey Graham is a stooge for Donald Trump. The truth of the matter, though, is none of that helps.
Well, and none of that matters, really.
Right.
Yes. So, and that's the thing I tell people all the time in these races. This race will not be about Lindsey Graham. It won't be about Donald Trump.
Right.
This race is going to be about the people of South Carolina, and make sure that they have in a United States Senator someone who will fight for them and their best interests, and that will be the thing that I will do when I wake up in the morning and I go to sleep at night. It is to fight for the people of South Carolina and make sure that we make a difference in their lives. And we've already started. A few weeks ago, I launched a program called Harrison Helps. We went into my hometown of Orangeburg, South Carolina. We worked with our partners and contributors. We got folks to donate 400 backpacks and tons of school supplies. We have 700 kids and their parents come to the Boys and Girls Club in South Carolina, and we handed out these backpacks. And I had a mom who came up to me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "Mr. Harrison, I just want to thank you, because I had no idea how I was going to get these materials for my kids." That is the power, and that is what we need in the United States Senate, to see the need in the communities and to go and find the resources in order to address those needs. That's what I will do when I'm the senator from South Carolina.
And I'm happy to hear you say that's what you're going to do.
And I'm doing it now.
When?
Yes.
Not
yes.
if.
When
Yes. You're senator of South Carolina. I think some great things are going to come out of the two Carolinas. I think there are two Democratic senators in North Carolina in the making, and we're going to have a new Democratic senator out of South Carolina in Jamie Harrison.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I tell you what, folks, make sure and get this guy elected, South Carolina.
And folks, go to jamieharrison.com. You want to learn more about our campaign, you want to volunteer, you want to make a contribution, go to jamieharrison.com. We're going to be the tip of the spear in the creation of the New South.
Absolutely. Remember what he did to the Democratic Party in South Carolina. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anyhow, that young man, I tell you, he is on fire in South Carolina. And I mean, when you see Lindsey Graham is on Fox News begging, "Oh, they're overwhelming me. They're overwhelming me," you know that it's real. Let me tell you, Bridge MCP, I did that interview at one of the Democratic debates, and he have been following him for a long time. I thought he was going to run beforehand. He didn't. And then he finally decided to run this time around. And so I pulled him in like, "Hey, man, why didn't you run before? I mean, you had it all. You were the leader of the Democratic Party in South Carolina, and everybody knew you." That's not, the time wasn't right. The time was right now. Okay, let's see. Carl Foster, welcome aboard. I think it's so much hatred. I blame the media, destroy the media. The media makes us hate each other. The media must go. You're talking about the mainstream media. Now, with the kind of media I do, I hope you can see by now, is to try to bring people together. We don't lie, we don't misinform, we don't try to placate, but what we do is we tell the truth. And if you notice, I have a lot of right-wingers in here too. I tell them the truth, and they know that I'm going to tell them the truth as well. Anyhow, folks, this is we're at the half of the show right now, so it's time for me to do my pitch. So please, folks, real quickly, quick one. If you are on YouTube and you have the wherewithal, please click that join button and become a member. Remember, in 2 days, I'm hoping to have a little chat with those of you that are members on YouTube. So click on join right there. Those of you that are listening on YouTube right now, just click join. Please become a member. That's how you help to support what we're doing, support promoting truth to other people that don't get it from the mainstream, that get it, that actually post it up on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter. We're all over the place to help move the message. If you are not on YouTube, but you want to become a member on YouTube, I just put that link in there, politicsdoneright.com/YouTube, politicsdoneright.com/YouTube. Please become a member. That way, it's very, very inexpensive, and you would be doing your small part. All of us do. If a bunch of us do a small part to move this message, if a bunch of us do the small part to populate the internet with the progressive message, which is what we do here. I mean, a lot of what you see being done is populating. I mean, people say, "Egberto, why do you write so much?" You write so much because what you're trying to do is populate the mainstream with our message, because there are so many others that are vested in misinforming our people. They are vested, and that is the reason why we have such a hard time winning. People are so misinformed. What we do is we put our message out too. And our competing message, because it is reality-based and we can show evidence of it, it usually wins. So again, please, if you're not on YouTube and you can't click the join button on YouTube, just go to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube. I went ahead and placed it in the feed, and that'll get you there so that you can join. Those of you that are on YouTube, you can also help support us by just hitting that $ and hitting a super chat. A super chat is like a one-time deal that you just say, hey, I want to support you guys. Bam, super chat. Now, we have a special kind of member called a Patreon. The Patreon are those people who are pretty much all of your owners of this show. You guys all own the damn show. But Patreon is a sort of a more all-inclusive type ownership. If you go to politicsdoneright.com/Patreon, politicsdoneright.com/PATREON, you can become a Patreon. And by the way, I don't know if Mary is here today, but Mary became a Patreon yesterday. Thank you so kindly, Mary Kura, for becoming a Patreon. Love you. I mean, if everybody follows Mary's lead and a couple more who came on yesterday, we can really do this thing. Of course, you can also help us move the message via PayPal, and that is right here, politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. This platform belongs to you. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to be on it, please, please, please let me know if you want. If there's an interview that you want to do so that you can inform folks of some other things, let us know. If there's some information you want to get to other people, let us know. That is our job. Our job is to serve. Okay, I have another good video. This one here, let me tell you, I got to tell you about this one because I'm excited about this one. I'm very, very excited. And let me tell you why I'm excited about this one. I'm excited about this one because I was just about to come on here. And Ayman Mohyeddin started to do an interview. And the interview got wild. And I'm like, I need to bring this to you guys now because you guys got to see this now. This is going to really bring it's going to really make you feel good because like, oh, we have people fighting for us now. It was great. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to go ahead and play this video. And then later on, I want to hear what you guys have to say. And then you can call in as well. But here's the one that I want you to see. Check it out. Now, this is journalism. Now, this is epic. This is how you handle liars for the administration and how you do it in real time. Check out Ayman Mohyeddin. This was perfect. Check this out.
We're just learning from the Facebook political ad library. The Trump campaign spent tens of thousands of dollars to post edited photos to Facebook with Biden wearing an AirPod in his ears, asking who's in Joe's ear. The Biden team said this is entirely made up, and yet your comments were used to misinform millions of people on Fox News before the debate. Watch this.
Look, they agreed to the ear inspection. It's simple. It would have been by a third party, not by us. And then they went back on it. Why? I don't know. I mean, they'll have to explain that.
Again, the Biden campaign said this is false and it's ridiculous. I'm giving you a chance now. Do you apologize for misleading millions of people about making that false statement?
I didn't mislead anybody.
So you're still, hold on, let me ask you this.
Give me your proof. Give me your proof that it's false.
Well, no, that's not how it works. You don't make a false statement and say, prove to me that it's not false. I'm asking you a simple statement.
No, I didn't make a false statement. I'm attacking the premise of your question.
Hold on. Your campaign put out a statement saying that there was an agreement that Biden would agree to an inspection of an earpiece. Who made that agreement?
The agreement was made between the campaigns.
Where? Provide the evidence. Who told you?
Who told you? I don't know.
Who told you?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know, so you're...
Our campaign... No, hold on. I don't know where the agreement was made.
No, I don't care about where it's made. I'm saying who made it. Who made it? Who in your campaign made that agreement?
Our campaign negotiating team of attorneys in conjunction with the Biden campaign and
give us a name so we can follow it up. Give us a name.
It's an entire team. It's an entire team.
You can't give me one name of that. You can't give me a name of one person on your team who made that agreement?
Eamon, it's an entire team of people, but you just called me a liar on national television and you have zero evidence that I'm a liar.
You just put out a statement. Your Trump campaign put out a statement saying that Joe Biden agreed to an earpiece inspection before the debate. All I'm asking you, Where did you get that information from internally from with your campaign? Give me a name. You're buying ads. You're doctoring photos of putting earpieces in the candidate's ear. That's a fake advertisement. I'm asking you, where are you getting that information from? Why are you putting that false ad on there?
First, regarding the ad, I have not seen that, so I can't comment on it. If you had apprised me that we were going to discuss this, I would have been briefed on that.
It's there. It's there on your screen. Tens of thousands of dollars in swing states.
I'm not going to take your word for it, Eamon, and I'm not going to take MSNBC's word for it. I don't know if what you're presenting on the screen is accurate. Okay, well, I don't know that, and I don't know the context of it, okay?
It's the Facebook ad library,
well, I don't know that. And you know what? I'm not willing to take your word for it, quite frankly. So I'd be happy to go look into that and then come back to you. You're trying to engage in a gotcha moment. You want me to say something about an ad when I had I've never seen the ad. I don't even know if it's our ad.
No, got you, sir. You're raising questions about a sitting member of Congress, and I'm asking you questions about what your campaign is doing. I'll give you a chance to go back, prepare for this interview next time with what your campaign is doing.
No. I'm very prepared for this interview. I'm very prepared for this interview.
Bring the names.
You told me that we were going to talk about the economy and election integrity.
You don't even know the names of the people in your campaign who made an agreement.
Actually, I do know the names.
Now you remember the names?
But they're not press people. So, no, I said it's an entire team.
No, you said you didn't know. And I asked you.
I'm not going to give you their names so that you can harass them.
Steve, that's not what you said. I asked you who is it. You said you don't know. You said you don't know who on the team. You said it was an entire
team.
Okay. We're going to have to leave it at that. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of information, Steve. I apologize. I'll give you a chance to get...
I don't know which individual person on that team.
No worries. We'll give you a chance to maybe get that information. When you find out who from your team made that agreement and the specific agreement, please bring the documents, the emails, the agreement, anything you can provide to substantiate the claim that you made that was used to misinform millions of people in this country.
No, it was not used to misinform.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your time.
No, I'm not going to allow you to call me a liar on TV and not let me respond.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. We want to move on now.
I did not misinform.
Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
That is journalism. That is how it should be done. That is how it should have been done in 2015. That is how it should have been done in 2016. Our mainstream media for too long has allowed the likes of the evil empires of Donald Trump and others to mislead Americans that way. And by hitting these people and letting them know that they won't get away with it, they will have to be very careful. They'll probably stop doing interviews. But you know what? By the reason they want to do interviews is they want to put that information in the psyche of everybody. By cutting that umbilical cord to the mainstream media. Yes, they may be able to get their sycophants, but they won't be able to get it to spread if they know that they won't be able to come and lie to Americans like they constantly do. Well done, amen. Well done, amen. Hey, in asking you guys to become subscribers, I forgot to put my link for my book in. So, folks, don't also forget to get my book. There it is. I just put the link in to get my book. It's worth it. How to talk to your right-wing relatives, friends, and neighbors. And why do you need to get that book? You need to get that book to get that delta, those extra other people that you're going to convince to support the Democratic ticket. But not only that, after the election, we still need to bring more people on board. You know why? Because, like I keep telling people, we're not gonna govern 50 plus 1. We're gonna govern 70% plus. That is the kind of governance we want going forward. 70% plus. Why is it that we want that? We want that, folks, because that is how you get lasting governing. Lasting governing. You know, so I mean, I hope you guys like that. When I saw that, right, I was like, I've got to get that to you guys right away, because as it turns out, hey, I just thought it was a thing of beauty. All right, Katie Porter. I love that Congresswoman from California. She is a beauty. Her mind, this woman knows how to do it. Katie Porter reminds former CEO how much of his $13 million salary came from tripling cancer drug price. Okay, let me stop for a minute to answer my good friend Masticator. Egberto obviously takes joy in our uncivil discourse. People need to realize this. Civil discourse does not mean being soft. Civil discourse does not mean accepting lies. You listened, I speak when I'm at KPFT 90.1 FM and people are calling in from all over the country on phones. They do here, but when I'm on air, I get a lot of calls because people are in their cars and all that kind of stuff, and they call in. Masticator, they call in, and I'm very stern with them. I'm very truthful with them. I don't hold back with them, but I'm always respectful. Amen Mohayadin was very, very respectful. He was stern. He did not allow himself to be snowed, but he was stern. Being stern and doing the right thing don't mean making somebody walk over you. It just means being respectful to them at the same time that what you're doing is putting out the good information. Now, on the thing about Comey, folks, actually Comey made Lindsey and those guys look pretty silly yesterday. Pretty silly. I think I played it for you guys yesterday. I don't remember if I did or not. No, it's not burning. Actually, Donald Trump is kind of freaking out because Donald Trump is going to jail after he loses the presidency in November. But hey, what can I say? You can't help it when you've been a cheat all your life, when you steal from people and all of that. When all of that happens, what can I say? Anyway, Boomer U, welcome aboard. All right, Katie Porter reminds former CEO how much of his $13 million salary came from tripling cancer drugs. And I don't have to go in and read that. This is a story here. Daily Kos wrote it up. A lot of other people wrote it up. I was going to write it up before the show, and then I said, let me use the Daily Kos. I'll write it up for my blog later on. But what I want to do is play it. So let me kind of get this on a larger, let's try and get this on a larger thing here. And then I'll play that. So bear with me 1 second. I think I can get it larger. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and play this for you. Check this out.
As my colleague Ms. Presley established, Celgene makes Revlimid, a cancer drug. Do you know what the price of Revlimid was when it first hit the market in 2005?
I don't remember the number, but it was
Reclaiming my time.
200 or...
Reclaiming my time. It was $215 for one pill. Do you know what the price of Revlimid was in 2013?
I can look it up, but I don't recall. I don't have it in front of me.
$412 per pill. How about the price? Let's get into more recent, where your memory may be jogged. How about 2017?
I would say approximately $700 a pill, but I don't have it in front of me.
$719 per pill, and today, Revlimid costs $763 per pill. I'm curious, did the drug get substantially more effective in that time? Did cancer patients need fewer pills?
During that time, the development of Revlimid included 6 additional indications, some in lymphoma, and the balance in patients with different segments.
Oh, great. I want to, reclaiming my time. So, Mr. Ellis, you discovered more patients who might benefit from paying $763 a pill, but being able to use a drug for more patients doesn't necessarily more price. Did the drug start to work faster? Were there fewer side effects? How did you change the formula or production of Revlimid to justify this price increase?
The indication changes are for subsets of different patients with disease.
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Ellis, I understand that. What I'm trying to understand from you is how did the drug improve? If I were to look at a pill and analyze it from 2005, when it cost $215, and I was looked today at when it cost $763, would that pill be the same?
I understand your question about the pill. The manufacturing for it would be the same.
Great, thank you. So to put that in perspective, you hiked the price by $500 when the average Orange County senior only has $528 left in their bank account after they've paid their basic monthly expenses. The average Orange County senior can't even afford one pill. And you said recently that nobody pays the list price, but that is not correct. Do uninsured patients sometimes pay the list price?
I can imagine there are circumstances where underinsured or uninsured patients would be paying close to or at the list price. I don't know of any specific circumstances, but I would
reclaiming my
guess that
time,
they do
Mr. Ollis,
exist.
I want to turn to one other number if you would help me. Do you know what this number is? Does it ring any bells?
But I think you're referring to my compensation in some way.
Yeah, well, in some way. This was your compensation in 2017 for being CEO of Celgene, and that's a lot of money. It's 200 times the average American's income and 360 times what the average senior gets on Social Security. Now, of that 13 million, about 2.1 million came from your company hitting yearly earning targets. And more than half of the bonus formula was based on those targets. Any increase in the price of Revlimid would also increase your bonus by increasing earnings. Isn't that right, Mr. Ollis?
If revenues increased and expenses did not, then earnings would be enhanced.
Thank you. Mr. Ollis, in fact, the Oversight Committee found that if you hadn't increased the price of Revlimid, you wouldn't have gotten your bonus. Mr. Ollis, do you know how much you personally received in bonuses over 2 years, the last 2 years, just because Celgene raised the price of this one drug, Revlimid?
I receive very generous compensation, but I don't know the exact number that you're referring to.
In fact, you personally received $500,000 personally just by tripling the price of Revlimid. So to recap here, the drug didn't get any better. The cancer patients didn't get any better. You just got better at making money. You just refined your skills at price gouging. And to be clear, the taxpayers spent $3.3 billion on Revlimid, 3.3 Medicare, $3.3 billion.
Look, I love that woman. I keep repeating myself. I love that woman. Because what she was, she didn't say as much as she could. You know, if you listen to Trump, if you listen to a whole lot of neoliberals, if you listen to Republicans talk about healthcare and talk about medicine and about how the reason we have the price of medicine is to go ahead and have more research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What she has proven with that little thing right there. Thank you so kindly, David Wilson, for becoming a member. Thank you so kindly for others. Why don't you join David Wilson and become a member right now by clicking on that link, join. If you're on YouTube, just click the join, baby. Click the join and help us do what we're doing. Now, here's the deal. I want you to think about this. What she showed there was perfect. She showed that his increasing the price of a medicine that did not change between 2005 and 2020. 15 years of that medicine being there. Instead of that medicine dropping in price, they, for the sole purpose of greed, for the sole purpose that they can do it, they are going to raise the price of that thing that all of you are going to pay, all of us are going to pay because they can. Now, you know that the thug that Donald Trump likes to talk about, or that the law and order thug that goes into a 7-Eleven and steals a cookie, or that steals a pen, or that steals a popsicle, they lock them up with a key and they throw them into a jail, right? They throw them into a jail that costs more to hold them than the price of the popsicle, right? Let's stop for a minute. I'm going somewhere with this. But this guy with a suit on, looking quite the man, he is the biggest thug the biggest thief of them all, because he can rip you off legally. He can go ahead and say, I don't care that engineers and scientists and all these guys didn't do anything more to make this drug better. Because of our economic system, I can screw you. And you cannot put me in jail for either causing your suicide, for either causing you to just die from cancer because you can't afford it, or for ripping all of us off. In other words, they're taking your money, that money that could be in your savings to buy a better home, that money that could be in your savings to put your kid in school, that money that could have been used to do other things. They're saying, nuh-uh, I want that. I want to increase my bonus. I want to increase my bonus, so I will just take it. I will just take it because I can. I want you to... People have to understand this. It's important, because what happens is a lot of people don't tie the knots together. They say, "Oh, the price of the drugs are going up," and then you ask yourself why. The engineer has already been paid. The university who actually developed the formula that they then tested to use in a product has already occurred. Remember, most drugs are not developed by these drug companies. These drug companies usually use something that was developed at a university that you already paid for. And when they make those exorbitant profits on these drugs, they don't give the government back your money. They don't give you back. Remember, you invested. You are the taxpayer that invested in the University of Texas, in Notre Dame, in Harvard, in the testing that all these guys, when these guys went ahead and put in projects to develop these formulas, you paid for it. And when these formulas are about to be realized into a product, they then sell it, right? Oh, let's just go ahead and sell this to a corporation. And as we sell it to a corporation, the corporation says, oh, wow, we can make a killing on this. People, I need you to understand that this economic system is a fraud, and you are just a pawn in it. These guys who make these executives, and look, Masticator, Tank 28, all of you guys that are there defending this system, you are the ones that are most being screwed. You know, let me tell you, personally, I developed software in the past before I decided to become a poor person and do this. And the funny thing, the thing that I had, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going here. I had what's called pricing power. I have a video that I do called pricing. Oh, I should look that up and play it for you, because it had to do with insulin. But anybody who has pricing power, there's nobody who can control you. And that's what in other words, if you make something that nobody else can make, you have pricing power. If you push other people out of that business, you have pricing power. And pricing power is one of the major tenets of capitalism, right? And unless you have regulations, when you have pricing power on necessities, you can force people to have to use you. And these are the things we have to try to fight. These are the things that we have to try to get into our brothers and sisters' minds so that they can understand that it is a system designed to, not to kill them, to ensure that they will never, ever be able to accumulate anything. The video that I want to show you, I'm going to play that video tomorrow. It's one that I did on pricing power. And this one is one that anytime I think about it, I want to cry. And I tell you why I want to cry anytime I see it. Because it is like the people that are defending this status quo are the ones that are getting screwed. A lot of us can survive it, in as much as we're getting screwed too, but not as bad as those folks that are there, glory, glory, hallelujah, on a system that was not designed for them. It was designed for a select few. At level of gradation, at 0.1% have the 1% helping them out. The 1% has the 10% helping them out. The 10% has the 20% helping them out. And the 80% are screwed. The 80%, if they have a $400 bill, they cannot handle it. It messes their entire budget off going forward. How do we solve that system? Well, you know what? We have a lot of progressives coming into the fold. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, our new, my hero, Katie Porter. These are the people. These are the new people that are coming. In my book, as I see it, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. Look that up on Amazon, egbertowillies.com. I discussed that. Mike Cizak said the patent system through government. No, the patent system through the private corporations. I discussed that in this book. As I see it, Class Warfare. The patent system is a fraud. But the patent system was designed by the private companies so that they can maintain control over medicine, over seeds, over everything. Even your farm. Even your farm is controlled by the patent system. So my brothers and my sisters, I don't have a link to this book as I see it. Just go to Amazon and check it out. I wrote this a while back, and explain all of that. Okay, we're coming close to the end of the show. Folks, please click that join button. Become a member of Politics Done Right. We cover a lot of material. We do a lot of enlightening. We also urge people to share this to enlighten others. And, it is important because one thing the Republicans know is that repetition is what it takes. And sometimes you repeat it at that one time when it hits that person has a receptor at that point to hear that message. That is where we have to be. So folks, one last plea. Please become a member on YouTube and put in the YouTube link in there. That's politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. Please become a member. Alternatively, you can also support us via PayPal, and that is politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. And by the way, I am for legalizing weed, Tank 28. You bet your life, weed should be legalized. In fact, I was the executive producer of a thing called Legalized Democracy. And in Legalized Democracy, we kind of covered some of that as well. If you look up Legalized Democracy, you can see the documentary that we did with Move to Amend and other people. Really, really solid documentary. Check it out. And folks, you can get all my books either at Amazon or you can go to politicsdoneright.com/store, politicsdoneright.com/store. Look, thank you so kindly for spending this time with me today. Thank you so kindly for spending this time with me 5 days a week at 3 p.m. Central every day of the week. I know you can be anywhere else. And it's an honor for me that you are here. Love you all, and that is not a fake love that comes from the president. It's one of somebody who really cares about people. So I'm asking you to please share, and share. Because let's say, oh, hear us this. I could have been rich speech. Oh, yeah, I could have been rich. Of course, you could have been, most people could have been rich, I mean, but there's a certain, to be rich, there's a certain amount of stuff that you have to go through. There's a certain amount of stuff that you can see. So, what can I say? Anyhow, thank you so kindly for being here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out! Wait, where is it? There is. Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.